Good morning, YouTube mine exploring enthusiasts. Tom and Julie here again today with Brian.
Chillis.
Brian Chillis. What's you talking about, Chillis? So we're hiking out to a remote mine today. It's gonna be a pretty good hike. The road's a little washed out. You wouldn't want to get high centered on that. Okay, we're almost to the top of the hill, then we start going down into the big wash. There's a nice chunk of quartz with some iron in it. There's my pole for some scale. So we're still hiking here. We've gone a couple miles already. And we're about to cut out of the wash and up this canyon to the right. Well, we ran into a little roadblock here. Very steep and deep wash here. It's probably about, I don't know, 80, 100 feet down into the wash from here. We're trying to go this way. It looks pretty rough that way too. But we're going to push on and see what happens.
You tried anyway, Gillis.
Well, here's the road to the mine. We finally founded it. Julie's billy goating her way up the hill here. Brian's already up here. Now we got to follow this. Yeah, no, nobody's used this with all these creosote bushes in the middle of it. Here's a heavy-duty barrel. Union Oil Company, it says. California. Here's about half of an engine. Got the crankshaft anyway. Looks like a 6-cylinder to me. So I came upon this old shovel and a piece of rail. The old shovel's pretty cool. It's a little wider than what you see a modern one is today. And it's not curved as much as the ones you see today. It's got 3 rivets in it for the handle. There is a wooden spoked wheel, and it looks like it's off of a vehicle because it looks like I see a steering link underneath it. That's pretty neat. Look at this hunk of rock. It's so heavy I can barely lift it. Okay, this is something. I see an ore bin and some other workings further up the hill. Looks like an old wheelbarrow there, some rail. No wheel on it though. An ore bin. Some barrels, a lot of barrels. A bunch of stuff going up the wash here. A big Union Carbide can. So there's an ore bin. My nice mouth coming out of it, a metal chute at the end. Here's a wood chute with a piece of steel round chute coming out of it. There's a 4-cylinder engine on a frame over that way. And there's a bunch of stuff further up. So this looks like a little homemade skip that's been made out of a barrel, like a 3/4 of a barrel. It's got a frame out of pipe welded around the top of it and a cable hooked up to it. So they were pulling that around with something. So on the other side of the ore bin, it looks like there was a ground tram. You can see the rock bed and the wood, and there's some rail down there. And that ran up to behind this rock outcropping that I can't see behind it. Let's go a little higher up and look at this platform. It's got looks like it's got a big engine on it. So this is a 65 horsepower Aurora engine. This main shaft still spins here.
Cool.
That's pretty amazing that it still spins in it.
Yeah.
65 horsepower. It looks like 4 cylinders. I see 4 big cylinders here. I don't know what it ran on. If it's gas or diesel or... This is down below this other ore chute. Here's a door made out of corrugated steel with a handle on it. Up above me is a rock wall, and I look like I'm going up a waste pile. So let's go up a little higher, see what we have. This looks like it was the top of the ground tram right here. It's all broken up now, but I believe it came right up to the top here and came out of this. I don't know if this is an adit over here or if it's maybe explosive storage. There's something there, another opening there it looks like, and it looks like an inclined shaft over that way. Look at this old sifter. I don't know if it's for flour or if it's for some sort of ore. Maybe it was for sifting the ore, the fines, classifying them.
That's pretty neat.
Okay, here's a nice shot of the rails coming along the edge of the cliff here, coming out of the incline shaft over there and coming over here towards where Chillis is, which would be the start of the ground tram, which would get it down to the ore bin down below. So over that way you can see the big quartz vein exposed, and it comes right over at the same angle that this incline shaft goes down. Unfortunately there aren't any ladders, and it's pretty slick on the side, so let's look over at the other one and see if there are ladders. Here's a big auger. Here's a door for a furnace or something, another door for something else. So we're following the tracks from the tram area over to the incline shaft. Here there are, looks like one more engine in front of me here, probably a gasoline engine. That's hard to say from here. And then behind it is a jaw crusher. Looks like there's a screen here for classifying something. Here's a Ford radiator shroud. Look at the beautiful quartz vein. A lot of green in it, amongst other things. So here we are at the incline shaft. at this mine. The skip ladder is somewhat intact. Let's see if we can get down a little ways. It's going to follow this beautiful vein down. You can see it going all the way across the countryside out here. Okay, it comes into a stope here with some stones. And you can see the vein that they've taken out, what's left of it. Looks like it gets quite a bit steeper down here. It's looking back up the ladder, the little skip track. This is looking down. It definitely goes deeper. So here's what's left of a little old pick, short-handled pick. And a straight pin, about a 14-inch pin. Chisel, if you want to call it that. Here's the vein. Here's some gobbing and a lot of paper from dynamite boxes. Also some cans. There's a little carbide can. There's a pressure tank of some sort that's riveted. Here's what's left of a wooden shovel handle. And a big Prince Albert in a can. Crimp cut. Tape. Let's go across this other way. This is looking down the shaft. It doesn't go a whole lot further down, unless it curves. It might curve to the left there, but a little stope over this way. See what we have over here. Apricots. There's another low stope. There's a little chute. There's another pick. Look how worn that thing is. Simple. This vein is something special, that's for sure. Here's another little stoped area. Look at this big spot right here. Wow, that's weird looking. Here's an intact windlass. That's something you don't see every day. And they would have had a rope or a cable on this, and it would have gone up over this pulley. It still works. And they would have been able to pull up their ore, and then it would have dumped onto a little something that ran on these tracks over to the skip rails. So that's pretty neat. Yeah, pretty nice Hercules box. There's the windlass again. There's a nice Union Carbide can. So what does that say? Blasting caps?
Yeah. Dangerous blasting caps.
Yeah.
Detonators.
Pink paper inside, huh? Does it smell like anything? Yeah.
Dust.
Doesn't smell like anything. So normally I would say this is a grease swab, but I don't see any grease on it, and I didn't see a swab bucket. It's possible it was a torch, maybe, soaked in kerosene. There's a pin that looks like it was had barbs filed or sawn into it that would maybe drive into the wall and be an anchor, so it would stick in there. Julie's by her windlass.
Yep. Finally got to see one intact.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Chillis is down marveling at that shiny black ore. He's down in a low stope. There's that pick.
Here he comes.
Still kicking. Look at the vein.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
There goes Julie down the tracks. Pretty scenic little view of these tracks, isn't it? As I stumble down the mountainside. Here is a jaw crusher. It's called a Dodge Rock Breaker. Heron, Rickard, and McCone from San Francisco. And the rocks would go right in here, and the jaw would move back and forth and crush the ore. Look, here's a homemade pry bar, like a nail puller, probably for the track ties, made out of a piece of drill steel. Pretty neat. And this looks like an engine. A 6-cylinder engine, stationary engine. Fuel tank. There's the coil, there's the distributor. Distributor cap's almost falling off. Looks like it was carbureted starter. Chillis over there having a good time all by himself. Look at the view out there. Pretty nice, isn't it?
Beautiful.
You like it?
Stunning.
What a hike. Alright guys, we better get the heck out of here. We got a long hike back. There's another piece of a windlass. Here's another crank, although this looks like it's a... That's probably a crank for starting a vehicle. And there's another roll of cable that came off of some sort of a hoist. Well, I just have to say that was quite a mine. That was really fun. Well, as we're saying goodbye to the mine, here's one final shot of the ground tram, the bed for the ground tram, all those rocks. And they would have had rail on top of that. And they probably would have had two cars, one going up and one going down. The gravity from the full one would pull the empty one back up. And they would have loaded it up into their trucks and hauled it down the road. Here's our mining road we're following. Just think all the old trucks used to come on up here hauling in goods and hauling off ore. Pretty unbelievable, isn't it? And it's a rugged canyon.
We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching the video, you guys. We appreciate it, and we'll see you on our next adventure.
See ya.